Streaming live. It's Dax and Mary. We're streaming live here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And soon, in just a minute and a half, we're going to be simulcasting on Blog Talk Radio. Yeah, you're going to hear the countdown and everything here. We're getting ready for the radio part of the show as well. We're going to do the card of the day. Mary's card of the day, my cards of the day. I actually
1 minute until showtime.
And that's the Blog Talk Radio countdown. You're hearing the behind the scenes on the radio show, folks. And I got a few cards, actually. I'm going to do the numerology of the day. Mary's got a card of the day. A lot of fun. And we're going to be talking about some tarot stuff. That's right. Intuitive reading. Is it hurting you in the beginning there, learning to read tarot? Interesting. You wouldn't think, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. So we're just waiting for the Blog Talk part of the show to start, and that's going to happen in about 25 seconds. So all of you out there, you can join us in the chat. I'm just checking here. It looks like there's a technical faux pas, Mary.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
Oh, here we
4,
go.
3, 2,
and
1.
The chat's not showing, so I'm going to go over to YouTube. Go over to YouTube. We're getting started, folks. Here we go. We do appear to be live on YouTube, so that's good, but we're not getting the chat for some reason. I'd have to refresh this thing.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
All righty, and liftoff on another Tarot Today live show. We are live simulcasting on Blog Talk Radio, as well as streaming out video live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, LinkedIn. Yeah, I was trying to remember everything, Mary.
LinkedIn, Facebook, I don't know, everywhere, YouTube,
Yeah.
Blog Talk Radio. Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Brown.
I'm Dax Carlisle, and this is Tarot Today Live. And you can call in, right, Mary?
Yes, absolutely. We are a live call-in show. You don't get to just watch on our streaming channels, but also you can call in and talk to us. And the number to call is 714-816-4628. Be sure to press the number 1 on your dial pad because that raises your little skinny arm in the air. And then we know that you want to talk to us. And really, I wanted to say just real quickly something about, call in and talk to us about, any questions you have about tarot or share your tarot experience with us. Call in and get a free mini reading. But a lot of times what happens is people want a general reading. So, at least give us an area of life, a general reading on your love life or on your home life or on your career, whatever, give us a place to sort of zone in on if you don't have a very hot burning question. But I'm sure a lot of you do have a very hot burning question and we want to hear those too. Right, Dax?
Right, Mary. And we're going to go to phone lines in just a moment here. I am working on some technical background stuff at the beginning here. I couldn't get the chat working. The chat on Restream that actually brings in the comments from all the different platforms, Mary, It's not working. It's not working.
Hmm.
Yep. But I am on the YouTube page on the live. And so come over and join us on the YouTube live. You're going to find that on our channel. You just type in your browser tarottoday.live or www.tarottoday.live. Yeah, that link's going to take you right over to our YouTube channel, and you'll see the YouTube live right there at the top of the page. Click on that. It'll open up the chat. You can join us in the chat. You can chat with us. I call it the chat. It's the comments. You can jump in the comments and chat with us. And you can ask for a mini reading in there. Let us know. Remember, try to give us a specific question. And as Mary was just saying, and also, any questions you have, that's the stuff. We actually got one on the last show. I'm glad when we get the actual questions. So we're not talking about, for a reading, a question about your life, but things like different aspects of tarot, how tarot works, numerology, law of attraction.
Oh yeah.
If you want to
That
know
was
anything
great.
about crystals, yep. Ask Mary.
Ask me.
Stuff
Yeah,
about crystals.
and also if you have the really, really big questions like, why am I here? What's the meaning of life? Are robots taking over? If you have any of those big
And they are.
questions, we have a monthly psychic spin show. It's the last Saturday of the month that we do. So save those for that
Mhm.
show, but send your questions to us. You can write them in the comments, and we'll read them after the show and consider them for our psychic spin episode.
And if you're called into the show, if you're listening to us on Blog Talk and you want to see us, which is so much more fun, like I said, come over to the YouTube channel and jump into that YouTube live, tarottoday.live. And please go ahead and like the live and subscribe to our channel. Hit subscribe, hit that little bell button. You hit the subscribe and it says subscribe, and this option to hit the bell comes up. And when you do that, you're going to be notified every time we go live. And speaking of that, Mary, we're live now 3 days a week, Monday,
Yes.
Thursday, and Saturday.
Yes. At the same time, though, the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and
11 a.m. Pacific.
And something on the other side of the world.
Well, in London, it's 7 p.m.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
And y'all can extrapolate from there. Okay. So those of you, there's a few people in the caller queue already. And for those of you in there, hang tight. We take the calls in the order that they come in. So please don't hang up, because then you're going to be at the bottom of the list when you call back in. And if you're listening to us live, that's the other thing. If you're already watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, give us a call, 714-816-4628. Press 1 on your dial pad, like Mary was telling you earlier, and get into the call queue. We're going to go to those calls in just a second here. First of all, we like to do the cards of the day, numerology of the day. And today is the 22nd. Right off the bat, every time it's the 22nd, it's that master. It's just like the 11th of the month. The 11th of the month is the master illuminator, and the 22nd is always the master builder number. It reduces to 4, which is the number of structure, and the entire date reduces to 1. So that's that energy of new beginnings, but also leadership. And it's the most masculine number. And really, I was going to say something, but the YouTube people might get mad at me. So anyway, we'll just go with, new beginnings, things like that. And it's interesting. I pulled some cards, and I got, here you go, Ace of Cups, 1 for that 1 energy today. Also 10 of coins, which reduces to 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. I couldn't believe it when that popped up, Mary. But the first card actually that popped out was this. Your ship is coming in, folks. 3 of Wands. That was the first card I got. And then I said, I'm going to pull a couple more cards just to see what comes up. And they're both 1 cards. And I'm like, oh, you are kidding me. There are times when you're doing numerology and tarot, especially tarot. And tarot, the universe just winks at you and does these little synchronicities like, yeah, this stuff actually works. Oh, wow. So, this is with your materialistically, with your ship coming in, fire. So we're talking about career. We're talking about follow your passions, things like that. And then that 10 of coins is obvious, the material, finances and things along that. And then new beginnings, what are you emotionally attracted to? Okay. And it being a 1 day, and then that structure of 4. I think this is all talking about you can create lasting abundance today by working on your structures, that 4 energy, and maybe initializing something new. Maybe you're going to get started writing that book, building that YouTube channel, and maybe it's a website you're creating, learning about a new career, launching a new business, all things like that. It's all right here in the cards. What did you get for your card of the day, Mary?
Well, I used a couple Oracle decks today. The Impasse Oracle by Raven Digitalis. We've had Raven on the show. He's awesome.
Yeah, Raven.
And then also the Chakra Insight Oracle deck by Karen Sangster, which is one of my favorite decks there. I'm trying to avoid the glare. La la la. Okay, and anyway, it's kind of interesting because these 2 cards kind of like went together for me in a very interesting way. The first one from the Impasse Oracle, it's card number 17, reduces to an 8. 8 is about abundance. See, that's what happens when you hang out with Dax Carlisle too much. Everything reduces down. You're doing numerology on everything. But it's about choosing experiences wisely, which is something that, I love the way that the Raven puts it. And I love Constantine Bax's artwork in this deck. It's just gorgeous. But choosing experiences wisely, what does he mean by that? He's talking about setting boundaries, setting healthy boundaries. If you don't want to spend time with certain people, if you don't want to keep doing certain things or certain, activities or events or whatever, yeah, set some healthy boundaries, because otherwise you're just going to feel the way you've been feeling about it. It's not going to change. You're still going to not like the same thing and the same people and the same experiences that you already have not liked. So you have to realize that, you can empower yourself sometimes by saying no, which is kind of a weird thing. And then, I drew a card from the Chakra Insight deck to go with that. And it's this red chakra card here. So of course we're talking about the root chakra, the first chakra, and this is about possessions,
Pretty.
belongings. Isn't it gorgeous? Treasures, assets, etc. And what really struck me is like, oh yeah, those 2 cards together is just a message to everybody. Guess what? You belong to yourself. You belong to yourself. Okay. You are your most valued possession. And you should get to decide what kind of experiences, what kind of environment, just what kind of day to day that you want to have, what makes you feel grounded and secure in your root chakra. And that's what I got for the card of the day. Cards, I guess, of the day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, usually it's me that's doing more than one card if I do more than one card. And I'm glad you're doing that as well, too, pulling out some stuff there.
It just happened today, it was just like there was those those two cards together created like the message I think that somebody needed to hear. I
Hmm.
needed to hear it. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of it was weird. But yeah. So what do the phone lines look like?
Well, we got a few phone calls on there. So I think we're going to take some phone calls before we talk about intuition and learning tarot.
Mm,
In a
excellent.
few minutes here. Let me check a couple of things. I want to check the comment sections. Like I said, for some reason, chat's not working. Comments are not coming in on Restream Studio. And I'm trying. Okay, I don't see.
Retrograde.
I don't. Yeah, I'm thinking it's Mercury retrograde here, folks. I'm not seeing anything. Like I made a comment on YouTube, and there's like nobody in YouTube. Whereas on Monday, we had a ton of callers and a ton of people on YouTube and on
Hmm.
Facebook. So, hey, this is our first time doing a Thursday with the streaming. So maybe, I don't know, Mary, maybe there's something about Thursdays, but I really think it's the Mercury retrograde. Let me try to get over to our Facebook group and see if there's comments there that we're not seeing in case anybody has any questions or stuff. Oh, we are live on the Facebook group. Yay.
Hey
Okay.
everybody.
Let me pop the Facebook group. Yay. Oops.
Oh,
Gotta mute it. Gotta mute. Oh, Corby's in there. Okay, there we go.
Corby.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to send them a quick message here, folks. And Corby's in there and Sharona's in there.
Hey
Corby said,
Sharona.
hi, kids. I'm trying to read what Corby said. Here's one. If you want to have a private party, what's the best way to set it up to take cafe of your guests and the readers? Oh, take care of your
Take
guests
them
and the
to a
readers.
cafe. That's
That's
the
a good
answer.
one.
Take them to a cafe. That's a good idea. No, if you want to have a party and you what is the
Yeah.
question? If you want
And
to have a party
take
and you
care of
want to
your
take care,
guests and the reader. So I guess I think
money,
she's
money,
talking.
money, money, money. Just like
Well,
it's from
I don't think
financial.
that's what she means by that, but
Oh,
it's hard to
hmm.
understand exactly what she's talking about there. Call in, Corby, 714-816-4628. No, just kidding. But seriously, it's like, I think she's talking about like if you have a party and you bring a reader to the party and have your
Yes,
guests, and it's like, how do you take care of them both?
both. Yeah,
I think you take care
yeah.
of the reader the same way you take care of the guests, I would think.
Well, I think also sometimes it helps to have a sign up list. If you're
Yeah.
having a reader there
Sign
as
up list.
entertainment, have a sign up list so then the reader and whoever is getting a reading doesn't feel crowded. There's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
worse than like trying to ask a personal question when all these people are like, come on, it's my turn next. So you want to kind of like space it out. Like I did an event like that in New Orleans at this I guess it was like a restaurant or whatever. And it's like the tables around the readers' tables that were like a little bit further out were where the next in lines like kind of just sat. Like they had like, 4 seats to a table. So
Mm-hmm.
like it was like, 4 tables altogether that they kind of reserved for people to just sit and have their beverage or whatever. Snacks help a lot, keep people hydrated and put something in their bellies, and everybody should be cool, you know.
Awesome.
But a sign up list number one. Oh my goodness. Because then the reader knows and the other person knows and everything's like chill and you scratch off, so people can see that they're getting closer.
Mm.
You want to update the sign off list. It's just,
Yeah,
simple to
start
do.
crossing everything off. Oh, by the way,
Mhm.
Sharona says, hi, everyone. Happy autumn equinox. I didn't know.
Autumnal equinox is today.
I
Yes,
didn't
I
know
finally
that.
feel alive again. I'm in autumn. I'm a
Mm.
Scorpio. I live for this time of year.
Oh, you Scorpios. Like Doug's a Scorpio. Uh, I um I just want Mercury retrograde to be over so these technical issues, go away. So we're gonna go to the
That'd be
phone
great.
lines. This is the best time to call in right now and get your call in there because we take the call in the order that they come in. And so you want to get your hand raised and get your spot. Mary, you want to tell everybody the call-in number to call in to Tarot Today Live.
Yes, I do. I want to tell them that so badly. I wrote it down. Okay. I don't know why.
Oh
It's
yeah, on
slipping my
Monday
mind.
she had a senior moment, couldn't
I
remember the
totally.
number that we've been using for umpteen years.
It's true. It's very sad. Very sad. But yes, so the number to call is 714-816-4628. Again, the number is 714-816-4628. Press the number 1 on the dial pad to raise your little arm in the air.
Yeah. And get your specific question ready as well. We only have a few minutes with you here on the radio, so we have to go kind of quick here. But if you like how Mary and I do these readings, kind of like a tag team, well, we put together tag team readings, right, Mary?
Yes, we did. And I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun because it's not just a tarot reading, but also Dax will do your numerology as well. He may even give you some tips on different things because he's really well versed in hypnosis and EFT and NLP and all of those things. And I can give you a chakra reading, recommend some crystals in addition to your tarot reading, and maybe the angels will show up too. Never know when
That's
angels
right.
are going to waltz into the place.
And you can come over and book that reading at tagteam.tarottoday.live. Yeah, we made it a simple URL for you there. So you can come over and book the reading, and you get Mary and I both in a private, intimate session on Zoom. Or if you want us to call you on the phone or do a Facebook call, we can do that too. But we usually do Zoom. So it's tagteam.tarottoday.live. So you open a new browser and just type that in. Tagteam.tarottoday.live. That's right. You can join us and book a reading. And wow, those sound like they're going to be a lot of fun, Mary.
Yes, I think so. Yep. Well, all righty.
Let's
Who
take
is
let's
been
take
waiting
some
the
phone
longest?
calls here. One other thing, because I know I'm going to forget this later, and I know I'm going to forget this later in the show. And that is just yesterday, I popped up a coffee.tarottoday.live link. So if you want to buy us a cup of coffee, if you're enjoying the show, if you learn something new, if you get a mini reading and you get something out of it, just go over to coffee.tarottoday.live and you can leave any amount of donation you want. And that keeps us on the air. So I just wanted to pop that up as well.
Awesome.
All righty. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. It looks like 703. 703. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Andrea, I'm calling from Virginia.
Andrea?
Hi, Andrea. From Virginia. Cool. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to believe what happened to me. So I got laid off September 1st. Been through all kinds of interviews.
Oh.
One guy offered me a job, then ghosted me. Someone offered me a job, and as we're speaking on the phone, I got an email saying, because of our email communication, we're going to rescind our offer. I said,
What?
what?
I just said what?
Yeah, because I emailed them about the benefits. That's why I emailed them, because they're benefits. I say, can you just send me a package of what the benefits are, like the medical insurance, so I know like what my deductibles and stuff will be. And then she says to me, because of the email communication, we're going to rescind our offer. When you're not a good fit. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I have
Wow.
I have another possible. I know. Can you believe that? I mean, who does
No,
that?
that's crazy.
I've
Yeah,
never heard of that.
impossible.
Yeah.
The offer was crappy anyway. The offer was crappy anyway. The benefits would have cost me at least $510 a month just for medical insurance. But you know, I don't know. So I have an interview Monday. I had one yesterday. I have a couple coming up. I mean, I don't know. Good thing you don't stop looking, because you just never know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you want us to look at with all of this? Just like any of the ones you have set up, if
If you
something's
see
going
a
to come.
job coming, yes, like you see a job soon, because unemployment doesn't pay. But
I know. It's
terrible.
awful. It is terrible. And I'm so sorry you're going through all of that. That's that's stress.
And then I had all kinds of medical appointments that I had to pay for, but I had my insurance, so I'm hundreds of dollars in medical stuff. I was like, man,
it just keeps coming and coming. But look,
I know.
Yeah, I do think that something's going to come
it
up
really
this
wasn't the
month.
job for me, but still, I was going to take it until I found something else.
Yeah, I'm seeing within the next 4 weeks. I know that's not like immediate, but the Ten of Pentacles comes up, and in the outcome position, we have the Empress card. And I'm using the Mystical Tarot, which I just love. It's from Los Scarabeo, this gorgeous Empress card, if you guys can see that who are streaming. But what's the Empress about? It's about growth, and nurturing. And, think of, things blossoming. It's got that real maternal energy to it as well. But also, she's like the earthy woman that has her own kind of natural, I would say coping mechanisms, and you may find that too, because what you're describing is a lot to cope with, right? Another thing that comes up for me, and I can feel like all of that, chaos you've been going through from here.
And why she really canceled the job? I mean, it was just something else, or just because? I don't think that would be the reason. All I'd asked was for a benefit package. There had to be something else.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's just, she's going to want stuff. Yeah. Usually when we work for somebody, we want something.
Well, I do. I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? You're paying me less than what I asked, and the benefits are crappy. You're forcing me to take a vacation at the end of the year when you close that I really didn't want to take. I mean,
one last thing I want to say, because it's like, paying you less than you asked. And the other card that I got was the Ten of Pentacles. So look, what's coming up is better than what you just went through. But let's see what Dax is getting.
Okay. And, just dawned on me, Mary, we got to remember to, because I'm putting the cards up and I'm like, oh, wait, but the people calling in are on the radio. They might not be seeing the video feed, so they're not actually seeing this. So I got to remember that. This is so funny. I agree with Mary. I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. You said 4 weeks. I got the 3 of coins.
Yeah. I said within 4.
Yeah. So, I'm getting relatively the same thing within 3 weeks. In fact, I also got 8 is the number of abundance in numerology, and I got the 8 of wands. That's things happening.
Infinity.
That's things happening quickly too. That's things happening quickly. Now, if you recall,
on the sideways is infinity. So
right.
Yeah.
And if you recall, for the numerology of the day is the 22nd. It's the master builder number, but it also reduces to 4 structure. and I got the Four of Cups. So what this is this is an opportunity for, in the meantime, while you're waiting for the job to materialize, that you work on yourself, especially your emotional foundations. Today's all about working on those foundations. And it's also, we got the Ace of Cups, and the numerology of the date is that one energy, new beginnings. The central focus card I got is the Sun. Can't get a better card than that. So it's looking really, really good. I hope that helped you out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, how do you feel about the job interview on Monday? You think that is a promising one?
The one on Monday?
Yeah.
Specifically? Okay. I'm not too sure of that. And this is why. I mean, I'm getting all yes cards, by the way. I'm pulling cards, yes. I'm getting yes cards. So yes. Okay. But, these are, I'm getting cards like the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords, so there's like a couple of paths that you could be going down here. And I think there's going to be another opportunity. And I'm almost getting like you're going to have to choose between one or the other. And which is,
Okay.
a great problem to have, right, Andrea? But that's what I'm kind of getting, is that it's not just this one thing, this one possibility for the job on Monday, that there's going to be another one. And I think you're going to like number 2 even better. And then you're going to kind of have to decide between the two, because initially when I asked and I got all these yes cards, I was talking about the Monday one. So it looks like that one could actually come through for you, but you're going to like the second one better. And then it's going to be hard because the money one will come through, and then you're going to have to, I'm not sure which one should I take? Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
what I want you to do is, now we're here Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if it's, if you find out,
if you I'll follow up with you.
follow up. So anyway, we're going to be here 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Now, if that's too early before you found out about the job, hey, call us on Thursday and tell us what happened, and then we can pull some more cards too.
Yeah, my interview is 10:30 on Monday via Zoom, so I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So
cool. You can let us know, and then we can pull more cards and see what went what went good or what went wrong. Right, Mary?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Andrea. Enjoy the rest of your weekend here. We're coming up on the weekend. I'm excited about that. In fact, Saturday, we'll be back in 2 days. We'll be back on Saturday. And, it's the last Saturday of the month. And the last Saturday of the month, everybody knows we do Psychic Spin.
Yay.
Psychic Spin. And let's see. Now it completely popped out of my mind, Mary. What are we doing?
Yes. What are we doing? Well, we're talking about something that everybody is going to want to tune in to hear about, because we're all affected by it, right, Dax? I mean, It's got to be like the number one trending topic, at least for the last month and a half. I don't know. It seems to be lasting, but yeah, we're going to be talking about this dreaded inflation, these awful prices everywhere at the grocery store. It's crazy to spend. Some of you are spending, like, I've heard like $6 for a gallon of milk. I'm like, what? I mean, buy a cow. It seems like crazy, right? Like
eggs, 50 cents a piece. It's like, buy a couple chickens, folks.
Yeah.
I actually have a friend that has chickens in his backyard in Central City, Tucson.
Wow. Wow. Are you, he's allowed to do
And
that?
he's allowed. And he's allowed.
Wow.
Yeah, we have weird
That's
rules
cool.
here.
That is cool.
I don't know if he's still, I mean, it's been, gosh, I remember we went to the wedding. It's been a few years now. They might have gotten rid of them by now, but I don't know if they still have them or not. But at the time, yeah, they had chickens right there. And I mean, they were out there when we did the wedding. In his backyard. Nice backyard.
On Saturday is our psychic spin. That's what we're going to be talking about. So you want to tune in and see, like, what do the cards say about it? Is there, are prices going down? Is it going to get worse before it gets better? Yeah. Is it ever going to get better?
Yeah,
I'm sure it will.
So you can
I hope it will.
Tune in on Saturday. So we'll be going to back to the phone lines in just a second. Let me check the chats here, Mary. Okay. Oh, we finally have someone in YouTube, Growing Old with Purpose, and they say, I'm just learning tarot and oracle card reading now.
Yay!
Yay!
Awesome.
Welcome to the club, Growing Old.
Welcome.
Okay. And then we'll pop over to Facebook real quick here, and nothing new on Facebook, but if you are watching us on Facebook, hey, you can pop in the comments there. You can pop in the comments on the YouTube channel. Oh, Growing Old's typing again. Thank you very much. Been at it for a few months. Oh, great.
Wow.
And interestingly, you happen to tune in where in a few minutes, after some phone calls, we're going to be talking about starting, in the early stages, learning to read. And we're going to be talking about intuitive reading and, is that actually hurting you and different things like that. So we'll look at best practices in just a minute here. So yeah, you can pop in and leave us messages. You can ask questions in there. You can also ask for a mini reading in there. But especially with how things are kind of wonky today, it's better to give us a call. 714-816-4628. Give us a call. Get into the caller queue. It's the caller,
number one.
Yeah, we're losing some of our callers. They're dropping off. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's a Blog Talk thing, but we are going back to calls. We're not ending the show yet, folks. So if you just popped off for some reason, or if you got hung up on, call back in 714-816-4628. Remember to press number 1 on your dial pad. And wait, I just want to see if Growing Old said anything else. Oh, I have 2 Angel Tarot decks and a couple more traditional decks. Radiant Rider-Waite. Oh my God, you picked that's the one that I use in my course, Tarot by the Numbers. And I highly recommend. You can use any Rider-Waite deck or Waite clone deck, in my course, but I personally like the Radiant one, and I highly suggest that one. And you've got it. I love it. Okay, so back to the phone lines here real quick. Area code 417 has been waiting the longest. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Linda. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Hi, Linda.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. What do you want to talk about?
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to see, do you guys see anything going on in the near future? I guess with the family, the kids, anything in particular I should be concerned about?
Anything to look out for when it comes to your family and especially the kids in the near future?
Yeah,
your turn to go
my
first,
middle
Mary.
son with his wife and
It
child.
is my turn to go first. Okay. Well, okay. You know what? Like, interestingly enough, I don't see, the only thing that's coming up that you need to watch out for is the 9 of Swords worrying too much. The 9 of Swords is like, it's one of those things where, like, okay, say, the kid is out with his friends or something, him, whatever, but say, you're there and you're like, oh, okay, they should have called me by now. I wonder what they're doing. I hope they didn't do this. I'm hoping this. I should have said this. All of that stuff. Like, don't do that too much. Shut it off when you can. There's some good things going on. The Three Cups comes up here, and that's usually about get-togethers and getting with friends, meeting, having fun, you know. With the Nine of Swords underneath it, it's kind of interesting because it sort of like neutralizes that energy slightly, where you kind of feel like, oh, I'm having a good time, but I'm still worrying about things. So, it's asking you to be in the moment, you know. And finally, we have the Hierophant card, in a very basic level, it can be about mentorship, and it may be about you playing that role, the parental mentor, meaning that, what do mentors do? They don't necessarily tell people what to do. They don't think for them, but there's guidance. So yeah, gentle guidance is what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any big thing to worry about except worrying too much, which is kind of ironic. But let's see what Dax is getting.
You were mentioning your middle kid. So is that a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
No,
he's a
is
boy. He's married and has a daughter too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. When you said kids, I'm thinking of much younger kids, and so okay, we're in a different. Yeah, and believe it or not, I'm a tarot reader. I'm not psychic. I do not know these things. You got to give me the details. You got to give me the details. Otherwise, I'm looking at the cards and I'm looking at perspective.
They could be 30 and you're still a kid,
Yeah, I know. But then I'm looking at a completely different time of their life, like when they're growing up, because, like the main thing that I wanted to look at here was the Seven of Cups. And, that was the first card that I got. And that's often about illusions or too many choices, things like that. And that means a completely different thing when you're in your teen years, as opposed to when you're 30, you see. So, as far as anything negative going on, I don't see anything bad. I don't see any major like life-changing things popping up here. You're showing up as the Queen of Coins. That's literally the mom card for me. It's the nurturing energy. It's like, you want to nurture and make sure they're going to be okay and everything like that. But in reality, there's not that, major stuff coming up, except for that Seven of Cups. I feel like the middle kid might be, little disillusioned. And, think about when you hit 30, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm 30 and I have no clue what I want to do with my life. And I'm 30 already, that kind of thing. Or what they set in motion through your 20s, which is supposed to lead to, your further expansion of your career and better things coming in your 30s and 40s, that doesn't materialize. And now you're 30 and you're like, oh, wait, it didn't go the way I had planned it here. And, it's interesting too, because I got the Five of Cups. I got the Five of Cups, which is literally the crying over spilt milk card. So if anything's going on with him, I think it's that. Oh, and it's really weird. But the only other thing going on here is I got the Knight of Coins and the King of Cups. And I was trying to figure out, why are these two guys showing up here? Unless maybe one of them is him. So I'm a little lost there. Don't know what's going on with that. That's the problem with these 2-minute readings, you know,
Right.
or 5-minute readings.
Yeah, there is
it-
there is a concern because I do have a daughter, and a lot of times I take care of the daughter, even though they live in the house with me. So I'm just a little concerned about them actually being responsible enough to care for her. So I don't know if that comes into play at all with anything.
Not in these cards, no, but that might be, a whole nother question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
Oh, I see.
ruminate on that for a
I
little
appreciate
while.
it.
And then if you want to ask that other
Uh-huh.
question, give us a call back.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. You take care.
Bye,
You
Linda.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo-hoo. Wow. Yeah. So I was a little out of sorts and confused there because I was seeing all these technical things going on in the background, and I was freaking out. It's like, how do I get that to stop? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
retrograde.
yeah.
It's the retrograde hour today.
It's the retrograde again. I'm telling you, and of course, that discombobulated me for the reading with Linda. Still made it through it, but it goes to show you, we can't, count on Zoom, for when we want to put the speaker up on full screen.
Right.
It's not going to stay up there, if I talk or if the caller talks, it's going to jump off to other screens.
Right. So everybody listening right now, I'm sure they're
Mm.
fascinated by this, and that might explain some of the visuals that they're seeing, right?
Yeah. You might be seeing some weird stuff. Let me check the chats here and find out if a whole bunch of stuff in the YouTube one from Growing Old. We'll take a look at that in a second. Let me go over here and look. You can have chickens in New York City as long as they are hens, not roosters. Sharona
I didn't know
said.
that.
Now that makes
Thanks,
sense because
Sharona.
they don't make as much noise like a rooster in the morning. So that makes total sense, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how that works biologically, but anyway.
I don't
So
know.
that was in Facebook. And then if we pop over here on YouTube, let's see if we got something from Growing Old here. Any questions? I had the good tarot from Colette Baron Reed. We love.
Yeah. We love her.
Oh, they just turned 69. Okay.
Happy birthday.
And they're asking what deck I'm using. Nice opportunity to do a plug for Ciro Marchetti, because this is Ciro Marchetti's deck, the Grand Lux. That's right. We just love the Grand Lux here. I can show you the back there.
Mm.
And get that back into the scene there. Here's the backs of the cards. And what I really like is the borders. Now, a lot of people in tarot are wanting to cut the borders off, Mary.
Yeah, or just buy borderless, like I have with
yeah. So that's the trend. So
this is a
basically,
mystical
because
tarot, by the way.
because we go back 20 or 30 years, we knew back in the day when there was virtually no such thing as a borderless deck. There was maybe one. Was Robin Wood borderless? I think maybe Robin Wood was. There was only like 4 or 5 decks you could get back in the day, right? And they had borders, and so this whole thing started where people would cut the borders. I guess I should show you what I'm talking about here. They would cut the borders off. They were white, not a nice gilded frame like this. It was just white.
Yeah.
Borders, right?
Well,
So
this is borderless, where the image extends all the way out to the border, and you don't have a border around it.
Right. And so what they were doing, decks that had white borders, they would color them, or they would cut them off altogether. They would also color the edges around the deck and they would either do them a color,
People
paint
people
them,
are
or they
really,
would gild them
yeah, people
in
are
gold.
really big into that now too.
Right. But now, because that became so popular, things started to trend in the direction of borderless decks, which was really cool. But then Chiro like doubled down. He comes out with this deck that it's all about the border. And I got to tell you, I just love it. I just love it. One of
Yeah.
the really cool things I like about it. Let me see if I can find an example. So here on the King of Cups that we were showing earlier, I don't know if you can make it out there, but like for instance, is that a shark or a dolphin, Mary?
That
Shark.
looks like a shark.
Okay, and look how it extends past the border. And what it does, and this happens in several of these cards, and it gives a three-dimensional look to it.
Yeah.
Here in the this is the 8 of coins here. And if you look at the chandelier is popping out, you see, over the border.
Yeah.
Just love that. So there you go. Growing old. That is and I agree with you. Very nice artwork. And that is Chiro Marchetti's deck. The Grand Lux here.
Yeah.
Show that again. Real quick
And
here.
I don't know if growing old can respond or not, but since they're just starting out, are they starting with like classes, or are you learning from a book, or are they reading intuitively?
Mm,
I wonder.
mm.
I'm just curious.
Let's see. Let's
There's
see.
no wrong or right answer.
Right. There is no. Yeah. And most people, in the old days started out. I know, like me, my God, I was buying dozens of books. But now we have this thing called the internet. But it dovetails nicely into what we were going to talk about on the show today, which is basically, is intuitive reading hurting you learning the tarot? A lot of people have made a big deal out of, well, when you start to learn to read, don't read the books, just read intuitively, just say what you see, just look at the cards. And it's interesting because I came across this just a day or two ago. I came across this video from John Ballantyne. I'm going to see if maybe I can actually I don't know if it'll let me share that or not. Pop that up here. Okay. Oh, there's John. You seeing that, Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is John's video on that, about intuitive readings when you're beginning or in the early stages of study. He has long titles. And this is from like 7 years ago. I mean, John's been putting up videos on YouTube for at least a decade, probably a lot longer. I haven't looked in a while. And let's look here. We'll go over. Oh, it doesn't give you the exact count, but 38,000, almost 39,000 followers, and at least 10 years worth of videos to go through. I highly suggest go check out, John's YouTube channel and watch that particular video if you can find it. You can find it on his channel. Just do a search. You'll be able to find it. And it was very interesting. And he was talking. I don't remember the entire video, now it's been a couple of days, but he was talking about that, Mary, that going against conventional wisdom, that, intuitive's the way to go. He was talking about, that might be hurting the early learning process, and trying to remember some of the things he said. So, one of the things I remember was he told a story about, so a reader that, is starting out, and they read intuitively, and they're pulling cards, and they tell the client, so yeah, you're going to meet this person in a church, and the client goes, I don't go to church. And so this person like doubles down on it. It's like, well, you're going to start going to church.
Oh, geez. You're going to join a religion. You're
Yeah,
church
just
growing
yeah.
fanatic.
And,
Wow.
and he was relating it to a particular card. I don't know if it was the Hierophant or what it was, but because he was quote unquote going with his intuition versus looking at the card and thinking about the other possibilities, he got himself in a corner, and then he had to double down, and then the client wasn't having anything else that he had to say at all, or she, I can't remember. But so basically, what was being seen in the cards could have been, if you had studied the cards more from the aspect of, you're going to learn the cards, get the essence of the cards, maybe learn some keywords, get used to them and use them before you bring the intuition in, that it would have been better, because he could have then noticed that, oh, maybe you're going to meet that person at a wedding, at a church. Maybe you're going to polling, you're going to vote, and the poll happens to be in a church, and you meet the person out front of there. There's like a gazillion different possibilities with that card, but because this person was so focused on intuition, and then without knowing the essence, learning the essences of the card, the different cards, and really taking the time to see what different people say about it. And basically, it's like, I always do the analogy, is like learning a language. And so you're putting, our mind thinks in symbols, and that's why the tarot works so great. And you are creating a symbolic language, associating the symbols and the images in various cards to specific ideas. And once you get that into your subconscious, you're pulling the cards and you're popping up that information, you see. And then you can bring the intuition in. But if you start with the intuition, then it's, wild all over the place, and it has nothing to do with the cards. And what I thought was interesting about that, Mary, was that goes back to my old thing. Remember, we've talked about it before, about, how many psychics we see that use tarot cards, and they're laying the cards down, and what they're telling the client has absolutely nothing to do with the cards at all. And I'm not saying that the information they're giving them is bad. Okay. I'm just saying that they're being a psychic medium or a psychic clairvoyant. They're giving them psychic information that they're getting from their sixth sense intuitively, and it has nothing to do with the card. They're not reading tarot cards. It's a completely different thing, So what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this. I'm thinking right now, look, I started out intuitively. I don't think that it hurt me at all. And I don't think it's like you switch it on or you switch it off either. I don't think
That's true too.
I don't think it works that way. Everybody works differently. Some people may think that they're reading intuitively and they're really not. It's really kind of hard to say. The thing is to me, regardless, if you're going to work with intuition to read tarot cards, or to just, you want to, you need to develop it. Just like you should study tarot, you should develop your intuition, and you can do that on your own. You can read books about that as well. There's lots of exercises you can do. And also it really, really comes down to, from that example that you gave, that John shared on that episode of his on his channel, it really comes down to being honest with yourself too. You know, you can't develop your intuition if you aren't honest with yourself about it. You know, you can't like make something like, oh, well, I I knew that was going to happen, you know, but I said this other thing because I was, but you know, that's just how, you know, no, you know, like really, we're all intuitive, and we have developed this faculty rather, to varying degrees. And, you know, I think looking at the imagery in the card, it really ties in very well with working intuitively, because you're getting sometimes whole messages and stories from the scene that you see depicted. Now, what happens though when you study tarot, okay, a lot of things can happen. There's so many different directions we can go in, right? But one thing that can happen is you can get way too esoteric to the point where,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
you're talking about symbolism, you're talking about, you know, the tree of life in the Kabbalah, you're talking about astrology, you're putting all this out to somebody who just wants to know, am I going to get that job though? I mean, it's interesting. There's a yod in the card. It's very interesting that this color means that, but does that result in a job? You know,
Well, are
know
you learning tarot for
yeah,
spiritual development, or are you studying tarot
exactly.
for yourself, or are you studying tarot to read cards for people? It's two different things.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so hard to just say intuition can hurt you when you don't even know what kind of reader you're going to be. And it's hard to say that when you don't know like what the person's, what drew them to it. You know, are they drawn for that personal development or spiritual development, or are they drawn because they want to be able to, you know, do readings for themselves and potentially others? I mean, for a long time, tarot was just kind of like my personal guide, my good friend, basically. And I didn't really worry about all that other stuff. I was just like, wow, I can kind of check in with this and get an unbiased second opinion on what's going on. Or, you know, I'm going through a tough time and everything, and the tarot's neutral, you know, so I can like ask a question and kind of look at those answers and be like, oh, okay, dial it back, Mary. Don't be so dramatic. It's all going to be okay. You know, it's like great to use it in those ways too. And I think that factors in to how you're going to approach it, you know. And if you approach it from the standpoint first, this is what I would recommend. Forget about intuition or not intuition. Yeah, intuition, but develop it, you know. But I would start off trying to get good readings for yourself, because you're the one who can, like, if you interpreted the cards right. It's like we have this saying, it's the cards are always right. It's the interpretation that can be like, whoa, off the mark, you know. And that's why you want to study, because it gives you more ideas and more concepts. But, you know, at the same time, none of us should be fooling ourselves to think that our modern tarot books are giving us anything that's been around for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, it's not. Tarot has been interpreted wildly different and still is today in different parts of the world than how we do it in the States. And that's going to vary too. So it may depend on where you're studying. It may depend, you know, where you live. And it depends on, you know, why you want to read tarot. Why did you pick up that deck of cards? You know? So that's what I think. I'm good with intuition.
I'm thinking that, you know, maybe I didn't really explain it that well. Like I said, it was a couple of days ago when I came across this, and I just thought it'd be something interesting to bring up on the show. I think, you know, and I might totally be getting this wrong, but I think part of the point he was getting at is, you know, taking the time to actually learn the cards, and
oh yeah,
whether that's intuitively or not, you know. And one of the things I wanted to bring up that I almost forgot was the comments. You remember there's like 7 years of comments on that
oh no,
on that video.
the comments.
Yeah.
did they do?
Yeah.
Slaughter John? Poor John.
Yeah. No, it was all good. It was all good.
Oh,
And
cool.
yes, no, everything was very positive. In fact, some of the people in the comments went a little further than him. And I wanted to bring this up only because and this is another part of the conversation that I wanted to have with you, Mary, was about intuitive reading, even when you've been doing it for like decades, how that's looked upon by how that's looked upon by potential clients, because these folks in the comments were talking about that. And they've seen especially over the last few years, more and more people, tarot readers, coming out online and saying, well, I'm an intuitive reader, and they've been reading for 30 days, and they're seeing, and they're, trying to book clients already, and they're going, well, I'm an intuitive reader, and the commenters said things like, oh, so that equates to you're lazy and don't want to actually learn the cards. You just want to throw cards down and say whatever pops in your head, and you're not actually using the cards. And they have a point. And people that want to go to tarot readers, they want a good tarot reader. They want somebody that studied the cards and knows what they're talking about, and for me, it's kind of, I'm temperate about everything. I'm down the middle of the road. I think you do both. And maybe there's a point to, learning the gist of the cards first and then starting to bring in your intuition. Or maybe for some people it happens earlier, and for some people it never happens and they just read the cards. So, I just wanted to bring that up, that in the comments, it was very interesting, because people are equating intuitive reader, especially tarot card reader, means they're lazy, or they've just, or you don't have much experience, or you haven't taken the time to learn the cards. So I thought that was very interesting, that's how the public is seeing that.
Well, it's also like what public, like the people following John, are probably very well versed in tarot, but also I think it's been around for a while. Imagine this. Imagine you've dedicated, I don't know, decades of your life to learning this. And along pops in like Susie Tarot Reader. It's like, I'm intuitive, blah, blah, blah. I'm done. All I have to do is just say whatever comes to the top of my head. Yeah. I feel like there's some resentment in the community that's been there for a long time. At different times it bubbles up about intuitive versus, traditional. But again, the thing to me is like traditional, learning, studying it, when we say that, I mean, what book are we telling them to read? Because there's a lot of different takes out there, and there's a lot of great, very helpful tarot books out there, and there's some pretty lousy ones out there too that are just crap, but it just depends. It's I had a moment about that though, because I had been an intuitive reader, but I wasn't like doing it as a profession. This was like, I was just reading for myself, friends, families. When I was in the Army, I'd read for people in the barracks, like things like that, and just had used it as like my personal, like kind of guidance system. And I was in Hollywood, and I got an assignment to interview John Edward, of crossing over the psychic that writes, who also writes a lot of books. And so I had to read his book first before I could interview him. And he had a huge, huge section on tarot. You need to study it. You need to learn the history, get online, join other groups of readers, practice before you ever dare to go out publicly as a reader and charging people money, and that was kind of his pet peeve is like, yeah, if you just picked up a tarot deck and you've been reading for a month, no, you shouldn't be out there charging people. That's not, ethical. That's not nice. It's like you don't have the experience to really offer anything. As he's pretty strong in the way he says things, and people can disagree or agree with that. I mean, I think we've all met the amazing readers that haven't been doing it very long as well, but that kind of the way his tone was and how he wrote about tarot was that was how I ended up joining the Tarot Guild and meeting you, because he made me feel guilty because I hadn't studied it enough, even though I found out that I sort of had, because I had read
I love that.
Rachel Pollock's book, I forget which one by Mary Kay Greer. And then there was, this crazy cool book, Tarot Theory and Practice by Lee DeAngelis. I don't know if you ever read that one. It's just like, whoa, trippy. But, it is really helpful to be able to exchange readings with people and to learn about different things. That's how I first became acquainted with John Ballantrae, was joining the Tarot Guild. And he made me think, because he can ask like very pointed questions and everything, but he's fantastic for making you like consider what you're doing and thinking about your attitude and
We got
stuff.
to interview John again.
We do. We need to bring him on and talk about his controversial questions that he poses.
Oh, I wanted to throw something out. A couple of things real quick. One is, again, I repeat, I'm not doing a great, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to his video. I'm not really explaining this really well. I know that. And it's a long video. All of John's video, even his short videos are long videos. If you've listened to John Ballantrae, you know what I'm talking about. It's like even a 10-minute video feels like it's been an hour by the time you're done. But this was a fairly,
he's not going to come on the show.
Now he's not coming on the show. Now he's going to be pissed at us. Yeah.
We love you, John.
We love you. But let's see. I want to look it up. Okay, it's 12 minutes and 16 seconds. And I know that sounds short, but in YouTube, time, that's long. In video, that's long. He goes through a lot of different examples. He talks about a study I think it's a study by a psychologist or something with a psychologist and explaining, what something about like what intuition actually is. And it's based on our experiences. And I mean, he goes on and gets deep into this, so bringing that up in 5 minutes on this show is not really doing it justice, because I only talked about one example and I can't remember the rest of the video to be able to bring up more information on this. So I want to, say, hey, go watch his video, and hey, maybe you can explain it to us better. The other thing I wanted to say is kind of to flip things a little bit. And isn't all tarot reading intuitive? Think about it for a second. Think about it. How can you read tarot and not do it intuitive? Now you can, and I'm going to tell you in just a second here. But really, if you're doing it right, you're using intuition. Let me tell you. Okay, so I can learn the keywords of cards, and I can be a rote reader, a book reader. I've heard different people call it different things, but you're throwing the cards down and you're just, so the death card, that's probably a bad example, but like the Four of Swords means the same thing every single time in every single reading. You're just throwing keywords out at people. So yeah, you can do it without intuition, but anybody worth their salt that's actually reading the cards, yeah, they're looking at the cards. They know I don't want to say even meanings of the cards, because I'm not talking about just keywords, but I'm talking about the essence of the card. And then they're looking at the surrounding cards. They're remembering the client and the question that the client posed, and they're intuitively getting an answer. They're putting it all together. They're creating a story, or they're seeing how the cards associate with the question being asked and answer the question being asked. So what do you think about that, Mary? Isn't all tarot reading
Well, yeah, because there's not
intuitive?
just one, yeah, there's not just one keyword associated with any one card. There's like a plethora. So, I mean, you've got to have a sense of, which of those meanings that you're going, that, applies to the situation or the client. And, I think what it helps to do too is to kind of decide what your technique is, or develop your own technique.
Right,
For
right.
me, it's always about the question.
Mm,
A lot of people talk about like, oh, and I've heard this from so many readers, it's like, I need to, but like when they talk about doing things like this, like reading like on a live radio show, or, via Zoom or whatever,
mm.
a lot of readers will be like, well, I just can't connect with somebody unless they're right in front of me, or they have to shuffle my cards for me to connect, and then you get that belief out there in the public, like, oh, I got to touch your deck, right? Do I need to? And I'm like, get your mitts off of it, man. Nobody touches
Yeah,
these
I don't
cards.
let anybody touch
Nobody.
it.
Nobody.
Well,
you
I might
know,
let them cut it once towards the end of the
I don't let them do nothing. But but for me, it's like, that's because it's the question. It's the
Mhm.
question. If you ask me a question about, oh, your boyfriend and his name is John, I don't even need to know his name is John. Okay. You need to be focused on what you're asking when
Mm,
you ask your questions. That's all anybody needs to
yeah.
connect to, is that focus and that earnestness, that
Mm.
sincerity. Like, don't bother readers with just, you know, test the psychic silly stuff,
I love when they
either.
call into the radio show, or call into the now lives. I don't know what to say, because we're doing so many things
The
on the show.
show.
But to
Right.
the show, I like when they call into our shows, Mary, and they're like, and his name is John, and he was born on December 7th, and it was, 1962, and blah, 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 and it's like, I don't need any of that information.
Yeah. And I think because astrologers do need that information, that
Mhm.
and we get
And
mixed up with
numerologists. Yeah.
yeah, and they mix us all together anyways, that they just assume like,
Mhm.
okay, I got to give them this information first. But
Yeah.
not for
Oh,
tarot reading. You need to like give us a good question.
and I was trying to find a good card to use for this example. This is another thing that relates to what I was just saying about isn't all card reading intuitive, especially oracle cards. Think of that. No, but when you look
Yeah.
at a tarot card, a lot of times there's a lot of different symbols going on here. There's the wise owl up here in the magician card. There's
Oh, yeah.
there's the globe of the earth right there. There's these books up over here. Okay, there's these alchemical symbols going between his hand. What part of the card, what symbols are you being drawn to? That's your intuition if you're being drawn to something specific. I can't remember which
Yeah.
way is which with cameras. Okay. So, maybe this card comes up in a reading, and you're drawn to that owl, and you start talking about wisdom and things along those lines. Maybe this same magician card comes up in another reading for a different client, and you're drawn to the globe, and you start talking about the world and things going on. I don't know, but what I'm saying is that it's your intuition, right, that's drawing you to these symbols. That's
Mhm.
that's
You know, I think so. Like in the context of reading it,
mm,
it's so hard to say. I mean, we don't really know, but it's like the thing is like what catches your eye, like like that, what you're drawn to, it's like, yeah, it might be intuition. Sure. It could just be some natural affinity you have for owls or something, but pay attention to it. A lot of people feel like if something happens, if something comes to mind, even if something occurs, like a bird lands on your shoulder while you're doing a reading, that's all part of the reading. That's all,
Right.
that a reading goes beyond just the cards, or whatever tool you may use or may not use. If you're doing just a psychic reading or something, it's like, people see it as an experience sometimes too,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. So there's all different ways. And if you're out there looking to you know find a reader, especially now that fall is here, it's the autumnal equinox, there's a lot of like party season starting, and a lot of times events like psychic fairs and stuff, closer to the October time frame, where readers are there. And you're going to find all kind of readers out there. That doesn't mean one kind is better than the other, but find what resonates with you so that you can get the most out of a reading with someone. And in the meantime, get a tarot deck, play with it, get to know it a little bit. If you're going to be getting readings, have one of your own. They all come with those
Mhm.
little white books, so you can learn a little bit about it anyway. And everybody, develop your intuition, work
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, and I wanted to let you know some stuff from the chat, because you had asked questions for growing old.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about my daughter and I are both doing this together. You had
Awesome.
asked how they're learning, and they say I'm taking a certified course from Hay House, and
Cool.
I'm taking a different course online as well. From Udemy.
Cool.
And long distance, we practice readings for each other over the phone and online.
Perfect.
And they said, agree, I'm learning the cards first.
Yay. That's great.
But sometimes a card's picture will really pop out for me, a message from the picture. I think they're talking about like from the symbolism or the image in the picture itself.
Yeah.
I've done some spooky right now readings for myself and my daughter. They are spot on. Learn the cards, but if something pops out at you, listen.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. That's
Awesome.
fantastic. Congratulations on that too. That sounds like a beautiful way to start out.
Yeah. Well, we went over 23 minutes.
Oh, I was wondering. I'm like, what time is this? Is this ever going to be over? No. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. And thanks everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us on a Thursday, our first Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll be back Saturday.
We'll be
with
back
another-
Saturday. If we didn't get to your call, remember you can call in on Saturday's show. We apologize if we didn't get to your call today, but we can't get to them all, unfortunately. In fact, we're 23 minutes over, Mary. We're only supposed to do an hour show. In fact, we're trying to make it shorter than that, but hey,
we're going the other direction.
that was an interesting topic to talk about, and now we'll be back on Saturday. It'll be our Psychic Spin segment show.
Yay.
Where we look at the big questions, and we're going to be looking at, inflation, the economy. When are the prices coming down?
Yeah, please.
Stuff like that. Oh, we're really going out on a limb, Mary, because but Dax and Mary said that the prices were coming down in October, and it's not coming down. What the hell? Anyway.
It's not happening.
Oh,
we'll
boy.
See. I'm interested to see what comes up on that. I think we're all kind of invested in this question. We all want to know.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening and watching now. And I can't wait for Saturday's show. We're if things are a little rough, we're just starting to do the video streaming, and we're still learning all of this. And boy, there's so many things happening at once, Mary. It's like it's hard to even think, when you're trying to keep everything running.
Yeah.
But thanks for being here. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and, hit the bell for us as well. Also, don't forget our tag team readings as well. Tagteam.tarottoday.live. And also, hey, if you want to get us a cup of coffee, pop over to coffee.tarottoday.live. That's right. Okay. Well, we're out of here. Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, John Boy.
Bye, everybody.